and it's insane. Think about it. Do you know what he go through for real? This bitch bleed once a month. What you saying? And you ain't soft to be like, yeah, you a that sounds strong to me.
You know what it boils down to? We actually, for the most part, not y'all, other people, don't know what masculinity actually is.
In life, if there's no checks and balances, if there's no equal and opposite force, everything becomes tyrannical. There have to be people to stand up and say no and push back. If nobody stands up to it, we're going to end up just fucking swallowing it all. Yeah. It's garbage. So you need to have an equal army on the other side. Those are my people. I don't work for the Matrix. I'm the opposite. I'm Morpheus. I'm here to free the minds. We're the free people who hack into the Matrix and fight against the agents and the machines.
There's just a scandal that came out. This woman falsely accused several young men of doing something to her. These young men tried to delete themselves because it was absolutely lied. Now, evidence came out recently where she went to the store, bought a hammer, beat herself. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. These young men, if it wasn't for other men coming around and supporting these young men, and just because she was a woman, she was believed, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I actually come from a family that's happened, but I still know several stories of women who have falsely accused, ruined these young men's lives. And guess what? You know what society says after that? That young woman, this is one woman who was finally held accountable because of her lies and destroying their life. But do you know what? Those young men, most of them who have been falsely accused, they lose their scholarship, lose their jobs, they lose everything, and then there's nothing that's said. If it goes away and it wasn't true, you never hear accountability. You never hear any woman go to jail for falsely accusing those men.
Oh, damn. I married a 6'1" bottle of Valium. I don't care what you do. You can't rattle him. You can't make him raise his voice. You can't upset him. He's just cool. I mean, I can do the most bizarre stuff and he'll just kind of look at me. But he won't do nothing. And he's just so you can count on him. He could hold me by the ankle over a cliff and I wouldn't worry because he's that brother. One time I was going through a thing and I called him up in the middle of the day and working, and I said, babe, things ain't right here. And he came home and stood there and said he didn't know what to say. And I'm talking and I'm telling and I'm crying and this and that. And he stayed until I said, okay, I'm fine. He said, if you need me again, I'll come back. That brother.
My nigga.
4 ways women lose a good man and how you can avoid it. Pay attention. Let's get into it, ladies. Men, correct me if I'm wrong. Taking them for granted. A man been so good to you for so long, you no longer see the value in them. The value in how they treat you. Not communicating well or effectively. Like expecting men to read our minds. And getting mad when they can't. Being dismissive about how you make him feel. Or being overly defensive in response to how he feels. Basically, not liking being held accountable for your actions. And how you've made that man feel. Last but not least, being selfish and unwilling to compromise.
Sensational.
I don't think you know how big 12 inches is. Do you see that? Just in scale, where is that going? Not in here, okay? The average gal is gonna get about that much. Maybe this, if they're a pro, but the rest of that, completely unmanageable. This is the biggest I've ever seen in real life.
Oh, damn.
But this is fine. It's completely fine. This, fabulous. Almost too big, definitely too big, sick day, ER, 27 club, and now I'm just skipping my next life.
Like, bro, what you on?
Anything after that is entirely unethical. I don't think we know what we're talking about.
I always let you know what the play is before they play it. And I'm telling you what the play is now. I'm telling you what the play is. The play is very simple. You're going to start seeing chicks that have been city girls for most of their youth, that have been having hot girl summers, that have multiple deletions, that have multiple children by multiple men. You're going to see them start turning to the Lord. And basically try to refurbish their image so that they can hook them some religious simping brother with some money so that they can secure a retirement plan.
No, sir, not me.
It's an evil world we live in.
Men love women under far less conditions than women love men.
That sounds like the opposite of love to me.
Well,
if you love under far less conditions, that sounds like desperation.
If you take a majority of men versus a majority of women, a majority of men would like a majority of women. However, a majority of women definitely don't like a majority of men.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think women love more. Because when they pick somebody, they're selective about it. They put more time and energy into it. Whereas for a guy, the woman is a lot more replaceable. That's why even Sneeko over here was like, oh, you know, you might step out and f another bitch or whatever. It's like, okay, well, how much do you actually love your woman? Are you willing to do something like that? Like,
that has nothing to do with how much you love the person.
It absolutely does.
Why?
Because it requires you to step out of your own selfish frame of reference to see how your partner feels about something. You only prioritize the things that you want in life. That says something about how you view love of another person.
It's not really prioritizing, it's just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, that's called being selfish. It's usually what you do when you don't love somebody.
When you say feminine and feminine energy, it's supposed to be soft, or it's supposed to be emotional or erratic and non-controllable or just oh whatever. Like when you call a dude call another dude a pussy, do you know what a pussy can do? Like you call a pussy like that's an insult. This opened up 10 centimeters and pushed the baby out. Or meter, whatever the it was. Like you call somebody as an insult is insane. Think about it. Do you know what a go through for real? This bleed once a month.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What you saying? And you ain't soft nigga like you a that sounds strong to me.
First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
You know what it boils down to? We actually, for the most part, not y'all, other people, don't know what masculinity actually is.
If a woman knew that her greatest power was silence, that's her greatest power, because then she can hear. If a woman really understands and knows who she is, she can walk in a room and take control of every man in the room. How she walks, how she sits, how she talks, how she be. We don't know how to be women. We know how to do what women do. You said to a woman, show me your majesty. What's that? Show me your divinity. And who's going to do it?
I like a guy that could be around me and not pay me no mind. You could be a regular dude, a dude with mad bread, whatever.
What?
Whatever it is. When I walk in the room, you like, what's up? Regular. And it's regular. And I'm like, oh, what he don't like about me?
Bro, what are you talking about, man? So to get you, you gotta ignore you. But then when I get you, I gotta want you. Yeah,
absolutely. Or you're gonna get punched in the throat. Period.
I realized there were so many men that don't want an independent woman.
I would love to know the answer to this because I come across this all the time. I would love to know why men are scared of independent women.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
She belongs to the streets.
Masculine men do not fear independent women. We are simply intolerant of the typical mannerisms they display. We know a woman that labels herself as independent and boasts about it often has attached to her personality a pseudo-masculine characteristic that displays itself as domineering. To men, independence does not rank high on the list of attractive features that females can exhibit. An independent woman that is humble, submissive, and feminine in nature is a prized possession. You want to impress us? Keep your accolades tucked, your tongue under control, and be high in agreeableness.
Sensational. If men started to become the 2.0 versions of themselves, if men became financially sovereign, mentally tough, physically strong, created a tribe, fell in love with themselves, had charisma, go take a fucking improv class, go hire a personal trainer, do jujitsu, make some money, take an improv class, become a man, and all of a sudden, and so these women are like, man, look, there's a lot of dudes coming to my channel. I'm gonna take this opportunity. So the problem is not the women, it's the men. When men step up, they won't be spending money on that because they'll get the real thing.
Even disagreeing with SD, like, and calling that type of person masculine, if you the type of person that wear your accomplishments and accolades on your sleeve, that's not a masculine trait. You just a shallow bruh. If you don't exist outside your accomplishments and accolades, you just choose to do what you saw men do in order to say that you accomplished. You feel me? Whether that's your degrees, your salary, or whatever, you feel me? But if you leading with that man, woman, or whatever you identify with, you're shallow, bruh. And nobody wants to be around somebody like that. You always talking about your properties and your real estate and flipping this and LLC that. Don't nobody want to hear that, regardless of who you are.
Your wife gets piped down by your son's friend. Let's be clear. Jada Pinkett is a Z-list actress. Let's be clear. Without Will Smith, that hoe would be for the streets. She is a bottom of the barrel, has no roles. Will Smith is an A-top actor. Has Will Smith done that about women he's been with? No, she's a straight up whore. I don't give a good goddamn what you feel. I'm telling you, she's a whore.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
And she has no respect. She deserves no respect, and she's for the street. Why are you bringing your husband to interview him about what do you think about me taking straight dick from our son's friend?